What's up, guys? Mark Canape here, and welcome back to TASG. Today we are joined by Steven, Roger, who we have not seen in 5 years. What's up, fam?
What's up? What's up? Thank you for having me on, bro. It's crazy. 5 years since I haven't been on the channel.
Oh my gosh. No, I think it's four, because you were here 2015 to 2016, because that was the Diamond Celebration, and you left down to San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
So you left. That was the official. That's the only season that we were branded the after school guys. Well, anyways, the reason that he is here today is because we are introducing a brand new series coming this January. I just wanted to introduce it here on the vlog today. It's TASG Stonk Talk, and I'm very excited for this. We've been talking a lot almost every day about what we've been investing in, and I want to give it a quick 10-minute roundup of the week. This is going to be part of TASG Thursdays when TASG Thursdays returns in January for WandaVision, Taz Gamer Live, and now TASG Stonk Talk. So welcome, guys. Let's go ahead and get started with, well, first of all, we invest via Robinhood, and I'm loving that experience. What do you guys think about that?
I think it's a cool app to use. Definitely like a very beginner-friendly app. I still use it like once in a while as a reference. But yeah, I think it's a pretty cool app to get started with for sure.
Yeah, and I basically agree with what Roger said. It's pretty straightforward. It tells you everything that you need to know when it comes to investment for the most part. Usually I only use it because like I'm not I don't really do stock trading daily. I'm more of a just looking at it over time and seeing if there's any like big significant jumps that I need to be aware of. But for the most part, I just have it because it's pretty straightforward. Like I said, it's very easy, user friendly when it comes to like beginners that like can't handle those like complicated tools and stuff like Roger uses. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You just brought up a good point. Yeah, like as far as like you don't need to use indicators or charts or whatever, all the fancy squiggly lines. Like Robinhood is pretty straightforward. That's why I think it's pretty cool, honestly.
And that's the big thing, that like the ease of use, because there's a lot of us that don't always know, and some of us are even intimidated itself by just looking at those graphs. Now, there's two different kinds of people that we have here on the stream today. Roger is a day trader. Do you mind explaining what that is?
Yeah, so I like to day trade, which means that I just buy and sell a stock all within the same day. It's usually a matter of minutes. Honestly, it's a quick trade, depending on what I'm trading. Sometimes I even like to trade futures. I like to do that because it's a matter of minutes. I'm not affected by news. So, like, literally, I'll buy and sell, and anything can happen overnight. The world will end overnight, whatever. It doesn't matter because I, just bought and sold in a matter of minutes. It's also riskier, I will say that. So, yeah. But I enjoy that style of trading. That's what I've been doing for the last couple, started trading for about, got more serious about it within the last year.
Versus two of us, me and Steven, we're more of the long term. We've been in it for a few months already. And after the explosion of Tesla in the last couple of months, oh my gosh, I just had to start talking about it. And this is a great way, a great forum to get that conversation rolling. That's why we are creating it here. And so let's go ahead and start talking, because first of all, it is a down day for most of our stocks. For my end, it's everything but Microsoft, and that was a 79 cent. I only have a partial share in that, around $33 in it, but a 79 cent increase. So hey, pretty good, I guess. A plus is a plus, but everything has remained down. Specifically, and I want to talk about this, pharma. We collectively have shares in Moderna, and I don't think you have one in Pfizer.
I do not. All my shares are in Moderna.
So, but I am in Pfizer, and Pfizer right now is in the huge news with the vaccine rollout. Why is it, though, that stock is still down? Let's start with Roger. What do you think?
So I think Pfizer is pretty similar to Moderna, right? If one has news, it kind of affects the other as well. But what happened is that there was like there was a positive sentiment, right, with the vaccine, but
Mm-hmm.
that hype kind of like slowly died down, and that's like one of the reasons why yesterday Moderna pushed down. I'm kind of talking about Moderna because that's what I invested in, and they're very similar. But tomorrow is going to be very important because there's going to be a meeting for Moderna where it can get FDA approved, right? So that can act as a positive catalyst and push it. That's one of the reasons why I bought it. Also, last week, whenever a country increased its order of doses, Moderna increased, right? So like there was Canada, Switzerland, and the US all doubled their order, and on each of those days, Moderna pushed up. So I'm still holding it, even though right now I'm down on
Yeah.
Moderna. I'm still
It was
holding it
down big.
because yeah, it dropped. It dropped. I'm still holding it because if we get approved tomorrow and we get positive news, we can push up, and then I'll just sell it at that point.
Steven, what are
Hopefully,
your
Fred.
thoughts? Oh,
Yeah,
sorry,
for
go
the
ahead,
most
finish your
part, when it
thought.
comes, yeah, for the most part, basically what Roger said. It's like, in my opinion, like when it came to Moderna, there was in the news, there was like a lot of like hype about like, oh, it may be the first one to actually have a vaccine ready because it was like one of those big companies from the start. But at the same time, then they start looking at all the history of Moderna and like everything that they've done. Like before they even started working on the vaccine, none of their like vaccines for other things was ever approved or anything. And then that hype just started building and building because like all you heard was Moderna was focusing on this first. And at the same time, there might have been like, I'm not saying there is, but there is a feeling of like everyone hyped up the stock so much that it basically increased its entire market share. But at the same time, that over speculation is causing it some problems now because now that their vaccine is actually may be approved, which is probably will be, everyone's starting to look at it more logically and realize, hey, maybe that wasn't a smart thing we did before because like that over speculation now is starting to come back and seeing how everything is dropping now because of how reality actually is now. Because Moderna probably like when people started investing in it, they all thought like it may be the one company that is able to figure it all out before anyone else. But then all these other companies started working on vaccines and stuff, and then that started to like level out the competition. You could say that, but
Yeah.
at the same time, like it's something to keep an eye on. Like for the most part, I bought Moderna shares back in March when it was still pretty cheap, and then all of a sudden when they released their first like preliminary results that weren't what is it called, peer reviewed, that jumped its share price significantly. And then when they realized it wasn't peer reviewed and people started looking at it, it slowly decreased again. And then once they got funding from the federal government, it shot up again. So it's a lot of over speculation and hype for the most part compared to actually looking behind it and seeing like, oh, this could be logical, in my opinion, of
Right.
course.
I see. Would you think that the numbers will eventually re-increase as we get into 2021?
What do you mean by re-increase? You mean like
Because
COVID cases?
no, no,
COVID cases
the
or are talking about like share prices?
share prices, share
Share
prices.
prices, got it.
So
Um,
you're at, oh my bad.
Oh yeah. So in my opinion, I feel like Moderna at this point has reached its peak back, I believe, like a couple weeks ago when it reached its 52-week high. I think that will be it. I don't see it reaching that level again. It may be above like $100 in the long run, but that's like speculation on my part. I'm not really sure. Like I said, I am not educated in stonks, so
Yeah.
I try to give what I believe is what going to happen and how I view it. But for the most part, I don't see it going like any higher than like its 52-week high because the technology involved in it, other companies might start looking into it too. And just because they only have a COVID vaccine, they also have to look at their other long-term vaccines that they were working on too. Will that actually be sustainable too, or will this just be the pinpoint of their company's existence, the COVID vaccine? And then you got other companies working on vaccines too. So yeah.
I also want to point out that the Pfizer vaccine is a collaboration with BioNTech SE. I think they're a German company, and their stock was also down today, down $5.42 and 27 cents in the after hours. Are there any other uh, stocks that you think in the at least the pharmaceuticals that may rise from this. I think also Johnson and Johnson. Any other companies in mind?
I personally don't have any as far as like pharma. I've heard Johnson and Johnson though as well as like a good long term investment. Honestly, before like the whole COVID situation, I didn't really focus on pharma. I focus on tech, and again, I don't even usually have to really pay attention to news because I'm so quick like in and out. But I have another stock that I'm looking at. It's not pharma, but it's Gap. It's a retail stock, like a clothing brand. I think I've told you about it.
Yeah,
Because it's
I
dipped
think
so
yeah,
much.
yeah.
It's dipped so much after its latest earnings report, where it's at a good deal. But it seems like it's still going to dip a bit more before I buy in and then just write it up.
Steven?
Same thing with Roger. I wasn't really into pharmaceuticals like when I first started investing like almost a year ago into Robinhood. I mostly looked at social media and tech companies. That was my main
Same.
focus. But then when COVID started spreading out of control, and then I started looking more into like pharmaceutical companies and healthcare industries because there's money there because of how the pandemic has affected everyone. For the most part, I do see like most of the pharmaceutical companies that have been around for a while and actually produce like meds besides a COVID vaccine before, they probably have a significant like market share already compared to like Moderna, which basically exploded based on their COVID vaccine being their selling point. But at the same time, you have to look at the big picture and stuff. Will these pharmaceutical companies be sustainable after finding
Yeah.
a COVID vaccine, or is the COVID vaccine going to be basically their
Like, what's it
reward
gonna
and
be
their,
like
and
after?
the bane of their existence?
Yeah. Because I think Johnson they had a problem with their when they were testing, but also I mean COVID's going to be a one, hopefully at least, knock on wood, a one-time thing. Like it's kind of is short term in my opinion. And the question is what's going to go on, like what are they doing after, what plans do they have after. So yeah. Looks like
I agree with what Steven said.
Well, that looks like that's all the time that we have for today. This is just like a quick preview of what's coming in store this January. Hopefully, I'm going to try and get some graphics on here some way, somehow, at least our branding or something that we can do in the future. I'm Mark Canape, Stephen Chow, Roger Garcia. Thank you for joining us today. We'll see you guys tomorrow for the final TASG Thursdays of the season. So long.